Welcome to the Sales Influence Podcast, where we talk about finding the why and how people buy. I'm your host, Victor Antonio. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for lending me your ears. Today, I want to talk about recharging your sales. And the only way to recharge your sales is to recharge yourself. Now, think about your iPhone or your smartphone, right? Think about what happens. When you use it for a while, it just basically dies. Battery runs out. And in your mind, you know you have to recharge it. But have you ever been guilty of this? You say, I'll recharge it later. I'll recharge it later. I'll recharge it later. And then all of a sudden, the power begins to go down. Then it goes into low power mode, right? And then you have to turn off certain apps just to conserve power because you don't have the place to plug it in. So now you're basically going through this anxious moment of, do I have enough energy before I actually plug into something and recharge my phone? It happens to all of us. We all do it. We all procrastinate in terms of charging our phone when we need to do it. And sometimes we're caught with low energy. And that's what could happen with you. Mentally, that's almost the same thing. It's almost the exact same thing. Too often, we're running so hard, we're doing so many things, we'll say, I'll rest later. I'll rest later, I'll do that later, I'll recharge later. And then as you're into something, it could be a meeting, a proposal, you have to do a presentation, whatever it may be, you find yourself low energy. And it's because you haven't taken time to recharge yourself and you're trying to work while you're in the low power mode. Very difficult. No matter how many mental apps you try to turn off, it's hard to be very effective. So here are 5 things you could do to mentally recharge yourself so you can recharge your sales. Number 1, let me give you the easy one. Sleep and eat correctly. The sleeping part, come on, let's get some 6 to 8 hours in easy. 6 to 8 hours. Some people say get more than 8 hours. I don't know about you. I get a little groggy. I like to get in about 6 hours of sleep and maybe take one 15-minute nap during the day. In terms of eating, well, my wife is always nagging me about eating healthier. So again, that's imposed on me because if it was up to me, I'd be a bad eater. But here's what I've discovered about eating healthy. Try to find little things you can eat throughout the day. I don't like to eat big meals. I like to snack a lot throughout the day. Of course, I have a meal here and there, maybe twice a day, but my biggest meal used to be breakfast. Now it's actually lunch. So I do a nice meal, whether it's oatmeal, breakfast, cereal, whatever it may be in the morning. Then I do the big meal during the day. And then I know that after 1 o'clock, I'm going to go in that low power mode or low enthusiasm mode. So I know that that's going to hurt me a little bit. But what I try to do is, again, save all my tasks that are automatic. And by that, I mean, I use everything after 12 o'clock. I do things that are automatic. In other words, they're task-oriented. It doesn't require a lot of thinking, just a lot of doing. So in other words, if you got to fill out an expense report, after lunch is the best time to do it. If you have to do some mechanical work, after lunch is the best time to do it. So also plan out your day. Now, number 2, if you're sleeping right and you're eating right, number 2 is let's get inspired. Maybe you're listening to a podcast like this one right now just to get inspired, just to get some new ideas. It could be books, it could be videos. There's so much content out there to help you get going and recharge yourself. There's no excuse for you not taking at least 15 minutes per day. That's all you need to do, really. 15 minutes per day for you to recharge yourself mentally. Number 3, hang out with other people, and in this case, it may have to be virtually, who are doing what you're doing, right? Sometimes by being around other performers, and I use the word performers and top performers, people who are doing what they need to do and are doing it correctly, just by talking to other people who are in the game, who are in sales, who are executing, and even sharing war stories with you, successes and failures, this will help you get charged up and keep you in the game. You feel part of some larger cohort, a part of a larger tribe when you talk to other people. So this is another way of recharging yourself. And again, this is something you could probably do like after lunch. Have a conversation with a colleague. Just talk strategies. Just talk what's going on in their lives, what they're doing to make their sales better. This will help you move on. Number 4, go quiet. Ooh, this is a good one. Find a time to go quiet. Go quiet basically means find a time to just sit, be still, and try not to think of anything. I don't know, take in the environment around you. Look out the window. Just close your eyes and just be in the moment. You hear the phrase mindfulness, and I think there's something to it, that sometimes we have to stop, reflect on what we're doing, what we have, and maybe even have an attitude of gratitude. And number 5, which is somewhat similar, instead of sitting quietly, maybe you take those 15 minutes to reflect and redirect. reflect on what's going on, what you're doing, what you need to be doing, and maybe where you need to redirect your energies to be that much better. So let's go through the list. First, sleep and eat. Come on, let's get that right. Be inspired. Videos, podcasts, books. Read something to kind of charge those batteries up. Talk with others who are doing what you want to do. Surround yourself with people who have that positive mindset and are talking about success and taking it to the next level, or maybe even giving you new strategies to approach something you're having trouble with. Number 4, go quiet. Once in a while, just go quiet. And number 5, reflect and redirect. Think about what you're doing, how you're doing it, and then maybe come up with a new plan and move in a new direction. This is how you're going to be able to recharge your sales by first recharging your mindset. And that is it for the Sales Influence Podcast. Leave me some feedback on iTunes, Stitcher, YouTube, or wherever you find me online. Love to hear your feedback on what you think, and maybe even share with me how you actually recharge yourself. Maybe I can learn from you. Also, if you haven't done so already, check out the Sales Velocity Academy. Over 50 courses, 500 videos to help you sell more faster. Go to salesvelocityacademy.com. And that is it for the Sales Influence Podcast. This is Victor Antonio, always reminding you, selling ain't hard when you know how. Take care.
Hi, I'm Victor Antonio. I'm an author, sales trainer, and keynote speaker. I'm often asked, what makes a great speaker? Is it someone who delivers real content that the audience can use? Is it someone who engages the audience so they're part of the learning experience? Or is it someone who can motivate an audience to push them beyond their comfort zone and discover new abilities? The answer is yes. But the most important thing to remember is that I'm not there to look good. I'm there to make my client look good. Simply put, it's never about me, and it's always about them.